This is on website. Okay, it's always there, but you don't know why it's always there. Okay. The one that does not have P or okay. It's not the genuine. Now the HTTP, alright, which is the acronym for hypertext transfer protocol, okay, is a protocol that allows you access the internet. Allows you access. Okay. There are many things I will have to put across to you. So once you get on board, all right. So I'm going to I was saying something about HTTP. Okay. So I used to now open up. Now check the URL. Check the URL above. I use the HTTP. Okay? HTTP here. Now let's check this other one here. What can you see here? HTTPS. Okay, what's the difference? Yes. So this is secured. Okay? Why the other one is not what? Secured. Alright? Now, this is the link the attacker sent to the user. Now, on seeing this is the whole bank I used to bank. I will try to log in normally, okay, with my name, Daniel, right? Password, Skillworks. Now, when I try to sign in, watch what happens. It's just giving a field, login field. Just giving, this is the response it's giving. Now, being the victim or being the user, I will see this and be like, okay, you don't know why it's behaving this way. Why the attacker on the other hand has gotten the information here. That's it, username, Daniel, and the password Skillworks here. Are you seeing it? So once the attacker is able to get this information from you, what will you do next? You will log in with this and take the account. You will change the username and change something. Are you seeing? So that is why service security is very, very important. You get it now? You see, this is just a very simple. The only issue the attacker might have is conveying this link to you using social engineering. Okay, you can send it to you and say, okay, this is a link from Skillworks. Click on it to access your just try to analyze. You get the point now. Alright. So I've come to the end of this lecture. Do you have any question before I take? Any question? So how long? Let's say 4 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 to 4 months. Okay? Because you have to have the deep knowledge of networking. That's what we also do. Let's say 3 months. Roughly. Now, so see you there, see you in my class. Okay? Thank you.
Just everyone. So I'll try as much as possible to keep up. My name is Serena Ritchie, and I'm a senior brand and product designer with over 4 years in design. So basically, I'm like a design generalist because I do both brand new UI UX, I do product design, and as it goes. So here at Skillworks, I'm the UI UX design instructor. So that's it about me. So, welcome to Techplug. And please feel free to ask me questions. I like when my classes are interactive and engaging. Before I start, who has ever heard about UI UX? You know, not yet. I just feel like okay, that means you're a graphic designer. That's my time to have design background. Any other person, you've heard about the thing. So do what you do. User interface and user design. Yes, thank you. So any other person. So I think the rest are hearing terms for the first time. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the foundation of UI UX design. So the reason I wrote UI UX and product design here is because with everything you're going to learn during the course, everything you learn also means that you can be either a UI UX designer or a product designer because the skills are basically the same. So UI UX and product designers do basically the same thing, with just a very slight difference. So everything you're going to learn here means you can do both. So that's why it's all in one. So let's look at understanding UI UX. So before I explain the meaning of UI and UX, I like explaining what it is before I define it. So here we have the foundations of UI design. Under it we have understanding UI UX. them they play important role. Because UI and UX design, let me work on sorry, let me just put this on. So despite playing this role, they are not the same thing, but they are closely related. So while UI stands for user interface, UX stands for user experience. So for you to create any product, both digital and maybe a hardware product, these two guys, that's UI and UX, are very important. So UX design is concerned with the overall experience a person has when using a product. For example, I don't know if you've ever entered an application or used a website that you couldn't navigate properly. Who has ever experienced that before? Maybe a banking app, a website. You didn't know how to complete your task on the app or website. That's because of this guy here, UX. So when a website or an application has a very good experience, then users tend to finish their task. It means it has a good UX. But when you find out that the application or website is difficult, definitely either the UX is bad or something is wrong. Because as a UI UX designer, we don't design for ourselves. I don't believe that because I can use a product, a person should know how to use it. I feel if a user is on an app or a website, I don't need to be there to teach the person how to use it. I believe that I should make it as simple as possible so that users can navigate themselves without guidance. Because most apps are international or national, meaning I'm not going to be physically present to teach them how to use it. Understood? Okay, let's look at UI. While UI design deals with the visual layout and how users interact with it. So I'm going to just briefly explain this. UI basically is about how the interface looks. So while UX is about the experience, how does it look? The color, the fonts, the images, the videos, the animations, the interaction, how those things are placed, that is the UI. So when you think about the name, while you hear UX, user experience, all you need to know is that it's about a user experience on the app is difficult or easy to navigate. Then when you think about UI, all you need to think about is how it looks. Is it beautiful? Does it look too powerful? Does the app look too congested? Does the visuals tell any story? All these kind of questions when you ask yourself, then you know that the UI is also bad. Uh, do you guys have a favorite application or website? Either an app or a website, your favorite.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you like about it?
It's intuitive and very simple.
Thank you. Any other person? Any? But do you agree with what he said about okay? That's the truth. So when you look at the design, it's a UI UX designer that designed it. So if you ask me, what as a UI UX designer, what do I do? I solve complex solutions or complex ideas into digital products. So at first, open was just an idea, a complex idea. I want something that users can use from the comfort of their home, at their offices, or outside the bank where they can make easy transactions. I don't know if you get. So as a designer or as a UI UX designer, what do? I turn those problems into solutions. And what are those solutions? Intuitive designs. So that's what I do as a UI UX designer. So let's look at what is UI design. Like I said, I like explaining before we look at it in more detail. So UI design stands for user interface, like I said. It is the process of designing the visual and interactive elements of a digital product, such as apps and websites, to ensure users can interact with the product effectively and enjoyably. The reason I said this was not just because I want to just explain it. That's basically the truth about UI. Without a good design, users can't really interact with the product. And not just that, it's not going to be enjoyable. So UI design focuses on the layout of items on screen, including everything is now coming online. So this means that everybody will definitely need a design. Just the way you need other tech skills, for example, you need cybersecurity to secure your site. That site needs to be designed even before the cybersecurity or analyst comes in. That app must have been designed by a UI UX designer. Banks, school websites, you can list them and so on. So every other tech, um, before every other tech field comes into the product, UI UX designers are the starters. So we work hand in hand with developers. Even before the developer knows what to code, we are the starters. Do you understand? Any question? So we can look at UX. Okay. Okay. So I can move ahead. Um, So let's look at UX. Here we have what is UX design. Basically, what is user experience design? User experience in bracket UX design is the process of designing digital products that provide meaningful and relevant experiences to users. At this point, you don't want to be designing irrelevant screens. You want the user's journey to be as seamless as possible and as short as possible. You don't need irrelevant screens. So it encompasses all aspects of the end user's interaction with company, its services, and its products. I'm going to be using an e-commerce website for example. I want to get a phone online, an iPhone for example. And let me say this site was designed by a UI UX designer. As a UI UX designer, I want to map out a customer's journey because despite doing both the UI and UX, I have to be also concerned with the customer's experience. So what do I do? The first thing I do is ask myself or interview users. If you wanted to purchase an iPhone from this store, what are the steps you're likely going to take? So the person can say something like, the first thing I would love to see the name of the phone while scrolling. I don't want to just, and I would love to see an image and name and price instantly. That's what is going to draw my attention to click to read more details about that product. While clicking is an iPhone. One thing that's very common amongst iPhone is that they sell both refurbished, they sell UK used, and they sell both new products. So as a designer, or as a user, what do I want to see? Or as a designer, what do I want to do? I'm going to include a section that either states refurbished. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. They'll indicate refurbished or brand new or UK used. So I know what I'm buying even before I purchase the item. After that, I want to see further descriptions or further details about the product. And while I'm checking out, I want the process to be as seamless as possible. I don't know if you're getting. So if I'm checking out, just be direct. My name, my address, my phone number, my email, how you can contact me. Then I want to pick. I don't want to be stuck during the payment section. I don't want to be stuck or start feeling like they want to scam me. Maybe they are asking for my BVN. At that point, they only need relevant information. If it's my card, I put my card details. If I'm going to transfer to them, let it be as seamless as possible and direct. So no need for unnecessary screens. So the process of the user should be as direct as possible. So UX design involves understanding users' needs, designing effective interfaces, and ensuring the overall experience is seamless and satisfying. Because I've just talked about the customer's experience, the font or how it looks or the images. What I'm talking about is the fact that users want a direct path while using an application or website. That's just it. Any question? So let's look at the difference between UI I'm basically just breaking down everything because it may be difficult to understand at first. So I have to break everything. So UI UX, UI and UX are closely related, but they are not the same. This is something everybody should always note down. They are not the same. If I call myself a UI designer and you call yourself a UX designer, we are not the same. Rather, we work closely because without you, I can't work, and without me, you can't work. So UX or user experience design focuses on how a product works and how users feel interacting with it. It involves research. We do things like research, user flows, wireframing, and testing to make sure the product is usable, and solve real problems. So one thing you should know if you're getting into tech, not just UI UX, is that as a techie, you're a problem solver. Whether it's cybersecurity, data analytics, AI and machine learning, whatever you do, just know that you're a problem solver. If you're the kind of person that loves solving problems, then I think tech is good for you. Now, UI or user interface design, which is different from UX, focuses on how the product looks and how users interact with what they see, what you feel, or the experience. Don't forget is UX. What you see, what you interact with is UI. This includes designing things like buttons, colors, font, icons, spacing, and the overall layout. I'm going to use this as a case study, for example. If this slide was a website and the background was black and the text was black, what do you see? You see nothing. So this is why UI is also important. So you don't just need someone that only knows how to use Figma. You need someone that has keen eye for design. So if you're that kind of person, I'll also recommend UI UX design to you. So in simple terms, UX is about the overall journey and how smooth it is, while UI is about the visuals and how appealing and easy it is to interact with the design. UX makes sure the product works well, and UI makes sure it looks and feels good. Both are important and work together to create a complete user experience. So together, I think, any question? No question. I guess you guys are understanding perfectly. Okay.
Like for instance, Julia,
Yes.
I would say it's both UI and UX.
Yes.
Because it deals more with the visual.
Yes. Every website you see or every app you use, including your operating system, they are all designed by UI UX designers. But we don't work on the functionality. That's where we work hand in hand with developers. So when we design developer codes, for example, just say you're a front end or a full stack developer and you were asked to build a website. At that point, you only know how to write codes. Visually, you don't know what to do. So that is where you lead us. We design for you. We hand it over. And based on our design, you know how to write those codes. So when you write those codes, they automatically become functional once. So what we do is that engaging on anyhow you want to explain that. Design something doesn't mean it's going to be functional. It doesn't mean people will be able to order yet. Till a developer codes launch it. Yeah, it was designed by a UI UX designer, was developed or coded by a full stack, back end, front end developer, and the engineers that want that to the rest. That's why I said every tech skill begins with us. I would let me not say the marketing is part of it. But most times, even before you want to market something online, you still need an interface. So I would say every tech skill begins with us. So this is an example of UX and UI in, how should I put it? In with the lowest I can break down for now. So when you look at this part that looks like a skeleton is the UX, and this part that has a bit of image, shapes, buttons is the UI. For why it's like this is because during the user experience phase, what happens as a designer is that we try to sketch down ideas. We conduct user research, we create personas, we conduct usability testing. And after these things, what do? We sketch down ideas. So design plays a powerful role on how users connect with digital products. A good design makes the product easy to use, visually appealing and enjoyable. I think everyone here can agree with me that every digital product needs UI UX. And some people use WordPress. Who knows what WordPress is? Who knows what WordPress is? So there are two ways you can create an app. Either with coding tools like VLC or Visual Studio Code, or with no code tools. For example, WordPress is a no code tool. It means, for example, you see a template. Um, Let me use. Give me an example of a website. Any website example.
Skillworks.
Okay, Skillworks. Let me use Skillworks. So, for example, there are two ways Skillworks can build their websites. The first is, and the most common, is using Figma or using Adobe. That's starting from a UI UX designer, handing over to a developer to code. But one thing is everyone should notice that is more like it has more costing because at that point you have to pay the UI UX designers, you pay the developers and the rest. Then the second way is using a no code tool like WordPress. Do you understand? So WordPress has templates for so let's continue. It helps users find what they need quickly and complete tasks without confusion or frustration. The importance of digital products, confusion or frustration. Well-designed digital products build trust, improves user satisfaction, and increase engagement. They also allow businesses to stand out, encourage people to return, and can lead to higher sales. This means if your application or website is well designed, it can bring higher sales or conversion. Do you understand? If you build an e-commerce website or application that users find very easy to use, or a mobile banking app like Opay that users find very easy to use, it means they will always come back. I use EcoBank. I don't know. I use EcoBank, but anytime I use EcoBank, something was happening. Either my money takes 20 minutes to come, or the app does somehow. So what I do is that money I want to use like for my daily activities, I put it in OPay because I don't want all this kind of drama. Maybe someone starts looking at me like I want to steal the person's money and run away. So OPay is an example of a good digital product. I don't know if you understand me. So good design can even save time and money by reducing error and support needs. You can save money, for example, instead of employing plenty customer service representatives, what you just have a good design that works. Some designs already solve problems, like the AI and machine and learning students here, they create something like a chat box. Maybe you can chat with the AI, have good how should I put it? You can have good conversation with the chat box, and it can automatically just send your details to a real customer service instead of wasting their time on employing more persons. I don't know if you get. That's an example of a good design that thought about customers or that think about customers. So instead of employing 30 customer service representatives that most times they don't pick their call, or if they pick their call, it's your airtime that will be going. You can just add help solve problems, guide the user's journey, and create a smooth, meaningful experience. In today's world, design isn't just about beauty, it's about function, clarity, and making things work better for people. So, when you hear about design, you should know that design plays an important role. The reason you can use Google is because it has a design. Imagine you wanted to ask people a question and all you saw was codes. I'll tell you that only few people will be using Google. And it's not just because you don't want to use it. It will be because when you see those codes, you already feel discouraged. And the important question people usually ask me is that as a UI UX designer, do I code? The short answer is that I don't code. I don't have any business code. If I want to code, it just means I want to advance myself. But that's not part of UI UX design. We only design and work closely with developers that code. So as a UI UX designer, you don't have any business coding. Any question? Okay. We have type of design roles. So because you learn UI UX design doesn't mean you can only become a UI UX design. Or sorry, you can only be a UI UX designer. UI UX design is broad. So as a UI UX design, we have different as a UI UX designer, there are different roles that focus on specific parts of the product creation process. Each role plays a unique part in shaping the final experience. For example, here we have the UI designer. So if you learn UI UX design and you're the kind of person that doesn't like stress and you know that your strength is in UI, you can say I'm a UI designer, I'm a user interface designer. You can specialize on just this. So the UI designer focuses on the visual parts of the product, just like what I explained about the UI design, just about the colors, the fonts, the look, the feel of the website. So they design layouts, choose colors and fonts, and create elements like buttons and icons. Their goal is to make the interface look clean, attractive, and easy to navigate with. Let me just so basically, as a UI UX designer, this is what you're going to be doing. Design layouts, choose colors and fonts, create elements like buttons and icons. Any questions? No question. Let's look at another role. You can also become just a UX designer, just like a UI designer. You can specialize on just UX. So as a UX designer, your focus will be on how the product works, how users move through it. For example, they carry out user research, create wireframes and user flows, and test the design to make sure the experience is simple. So these are the ones that conduct the research, personas, the wireframing and the rest. So that's the role of this guy here. So either you want to specialize on both UI or you want to specialize on just UX. You can also be both a UI UX designer. It means you can conduct from research to the finalization of the design. So let's look at the product designer. Remember when I started this course, I said that if you take this course, you can either be a product designer or a UI UX designer or all. Like I am a design generalist. I do both graphics, branding, UI UX, product design, and so forth. So a product designer combines both UI UX skills and focuses on the overall product strategy. The only difference here is that they focus on the overall product strategy. Likewise, for example, like a CX designer focuses on customer experience. CX means customer experience. It's different from UI UX design, but it's similar. So as a UI UX designer, you also focus on the overall product strategy. So this goes beyond just UI and UX design. So product design is beyond just UI UX design. They go from start to finish and help make sure the product solves real problems while looking great. Any question on this? Any question? So when you look at the UI UX designers and you see a product designer, you know that product design is basically UI UX design that just goes slightly beyond it. But the tools they use is the same, the designs they're creating is the same. It's just about the product strategy. So let's go forward. very important role. Every website has a write-up, right? Every website or app has a write-up. And at that point, you don't need a content writer. You need someone that understands users, that understands the products you're using. You don't need who writes for flyers or who writes for posters or who writes for Instagram. You need a dedicated UX writer. So this is also a role. So if you know you're the kind of person that loves writing, you know how to write, and you're the kind of person that has empathy for users. It's not sympathy. Sympathy means pity. You're not trying to pity your users. You're trying to have empathy. That's to put yourself in their shoes. It means you know the kind of buttons that they want to click on. And most times, on some websites, instead of contact us, your users want to rather see call me. They just want something straightforward. So this is where you work. This is where you try to understand your users, what they will love to kind of write up or the kind of language they will love to see on their applications or websites. And one thing you should notice that UI UX design goes beyond digital products. They also build hardware products like your smart washing machine, your remote controls, and the rest. So there are some washing machines that have, or even this thing that expeller. There's this heat expeller. If you wave like this, it goes on. If you wave like this, it goes on. So all those things, all those interactions is still part of UI UX design. Any question? Any question? So this person is very important. Not just in what I'm trying to say is that he or she is not just important in digital products, but also important in hardware products. For example, there's this common thing on your TV remote, the power button. No matter the product you're using, you know that this icon means come on or go off. No matter the product, whether it's a remote, is a washing machine, you know that this means turn off, turn on. Even children, once they see it, they know how to engage with this icon. You understand? So everything you're seeing here has to do with the UX writer. He knows what users want to see on a remote control. You understand? The kind of language they want to see. Most people can't read. So even if you write on or off, they can't really understand. So it depends on the kind of products they are building. They always know the best language or the best icons to use. That's just where this person goes. So it's also an important role. Then we also have the interaction designer. So interaction designer focuses on how the product responds to users. They design animations. Almost every website or app has an animation, at least one. For example, on Instagram, if you want to like a post, if you like a post on Instagram, you notice that the heart gives an after effect. Who has experienced that? That falls under animation and interaction design. It means that product also interacted with you as a user. It gives you this liveliness that what you did just happened. You don't want to click on something and it's boring. You're not even conscious enough. You're not very conscious. You don't know if you clicked on it. You want something that actually interacts properly. So we have animations, we design animations, transitions, and feedback text that makes the experience more engaging. Have you ever ordered something or bought something or you did something on the internet and there was a pop-up? That's under feedback effect. So all those nice effects you see, error messages, not everything is going to be nice, but error messages too. All those things are done because of this interaction designer. Any question? No question. Okay. So let's look at why UI UX design is one of the hottest tech careers today. Every business needs great user experience. I don't want to waste money building a product that when users enter the website, they don't complete their task or they find it They find the app useless. There are some apps people build. I've entered a website. I don't want to mention that website. They have both a physical store and an online store. I wanted to shop. The website was not making any sense. I told myself that I rather book boat to the shop than to use their website to buy anything. And that was because I didn't want any problem. I know how to bypass because I know and understand how designs or website or applications work most time. What I got from their own website was red flag, don't shop. So that's why every business needs a great user experience. You see that, and me now, that's because I'm in Port Harcourt and their store is in Port Harcourt. Just imagine I was in that state where their store is not physical. It means they just lost a customer. So every business needs great user experience. From apps to websites, users expect smooth, easy, and attractive interfaces. A poor design can turn users away. That's why companies invest in UI UX designers. Everyone here uses WhatsApp, right? You use WhatsApp every day. Everybody uses WhatsApp every day. At least you have groups that you have to always check in. Have you noticed that WhatsApp always updates? They always have one new update. Now, those updates are done by the UI UX designers. They are not just done by the developers. The developers don't know what to improve on the design. It's the UI UX designers that solve those problems and just hand over. Okay, you know how to code, take this design and code it. What the problems users are facing, those updates were mapped out by the UI UX designers. We are the ones that solve those complex problems into digital products. So anytime you see WhatsApp have a new update, just know that the UI UX team has done something new. Anytime you see WhatsApp have any other update, tell you update your WhatsApp, and you see something new, just know the UI UX team have done something new. That's just how it works. So because you built an app today for a website or for a company, it doesn't mean, sorry, for a company, not a website. You build a website for a company, right? It doesn't mean it's going to be like that for another 10 years or another 5 years. It will definitely need improvements. And for real, any company that doesn't update their designs, their competitors will definitely be ahead of them. You cannot build a website today and for 3 years there's no new updates. AI has come. Almost every application is now adding 1 or 2 AI features. And guess what? Your own website is still the same 3 years ago. Even WhatsApp has added AI. I think most Android phones, once you just unlock your phone, you're going to see an AI search engine there, right? I don't know, I'm not using an Android phone, but my cousin's phone has that feature. So if every company is evolving and your design is 3 years back, your competitors will definitely be ahead of you. So companies have no other option but to invest on UI UX designers. So these are the reason it's still one of the hottest tech careers till now. And so far as there will still we still have interfaces, UI UX design will not go out of the market or not from this position. So we also have more digital products equals more UI UX design. Like I said, almost every business nowadays, they're having both their physical store, their physical offices, their supermarket. They still want to have an online supermarket, for example. Market Square is physical. We know their branches. They have multiple branches, right? You can go to Market Square Choba, you can go to Market Square GRA, you can go to Market Square Ada George. It's not like you haven't traveled. The distances are not really much, but they still knew that it was important to have a digital store. Do you understand? Yeah, I think Market Square is on Chowder, right? Or Glovo. Who uses one of those? Market Square. It's on either Chowder, right? Or Glovo. Yes, on Glovo, Market Square. So you can order something from Market Square there. And they still have their website. So even after they have money for so many buildings, they still need what's important to have their websites that is live online, so you can order things from there. Then, even people who have clothing businesses, nail techs, for example, people that do nail tech now, they have websites where they'll tell you book appointments. Do you understand? So almost every business now is getting digital. So the more digital products, the more UI UX jobs. Then with the rise of startups, mobile apps, websites, and SaaS tools, the need for UI UX designers is growing fast. This one is just how the nature of tech works. The more something like cybersecurity, the more crimes, the more cyber security becomes demand. The more AI tools come for cyber attacks, the more thieves, right? So the more employment for them. Do you understand? That's the same thing with this. So even those thieves, they still need websites. We have people that still design for them to steal. Do you understand? You still see a UI designer designing for them to steal. It works like that. So that's how tech works. So we have both friendly and flexible jobs. So many UI UX roles are remote, freelance friendly, and global. So as a UI UX designer, you can work from anywhere in the world. There's no limitation, except the company doesn't just want to employ outside their zone. But as a UI UX designer, you can get visa sponsorship, you can work remotely. If you relocate, you can also get a job. So there's no hindrance to bring from a UI UX designer. Any question? No question. Okay. Career growth and high pay. This is another reason because the pay is high. So UI UX design is one of the top paying creative roles in tech. When it comes to the entire creative role, whether you're a graphic designer, brand designer, I think UI UX design is the senior brother or the eldest. So you can't compare a graphic designer to a UI UX designer. You can't compare someone who does logos to a UI UX designer. It's higher. Except maybe you're an entry level UI UX designer, graphic designer is a senior. Do you understand? So you can't expect a graphic designer that has 5 years of experience to be paid less than you that have 1 year experience. Except that case, but if I see a graphic designer that has 5 years experience, and then I'm a UI UX designer I have 5 years experience, my pay definitely will be higher. Do you understand? So in the in the entire creative role, UI UX designer is the toughest. So as a UI UX designer, you're not a graphic designer, you don't really do this creative roles of fires. But the good thing is that once you learn it, you can do it. I design flyers using Figma. So you can do it, but it's not the same thing. Figma is to design apps and websites. Do you understand? So you're not a graphic designer, but because you know UI UX design, it can be easy for you to learn graphics if you want, or automatically if you're the kind of person that figures things faster by yourself, then definitely you can do 1 or 2 graphics using Figma. You can also illustrate on Figma. People do illustrate on Figma. So you can sketch and illustrate on Figma. And it's going to look like a real 3D. So let's look at job websites. So we have the mobile and international platforms where you can apply for UI UX design jobs. We have LinkedIn. I guess everyone here should know about LinkedIn. We have LinkedIn. Everyone also knows about Indeed, right? and you're UI UX designer, definitely you apply for international opportunities. At the same time, you also try local opportunities. The reason you're going to you can use Behance Dribble on a personal website. So the reason you can use Behance and Dribble is because you can upload your project there. You can get a personal link that acts as a personal website. If you don't have money to build a personal website, you can use either of these. So what is a portfolio? A portfolio. Who knows what a portfolio is? Who knows what a portfolio is? Nobody knows what a portfolio is. Nobody. Okay. A portfolio is basically works you have done. So when it comes to UI UX design, your portfolio are your designs. You design to lead yourself. That shows your relevant skills, your design thinking, and the rest. So your portfolio shows it's what evidence that what you claim you are can actually do it. So here at Skillworks, when our students take our courses, I think almost all courses they end up having a portfolio, right? Because they build product or projects that show you more experience. So definitely you're going to be having a complete portfolio that can help you get an entry level job. The reason I said entry level job in terms of UI UX is because it's just going to be 3 months. And within that 3 months, you'll be able to build like 3 projects. Do you understand? So 3 projects at least is what you need to learn in UI UX job. And that will be sufficient for you to get an entry level role. Do you understand? But after the 3 months of learning, if you're the kind of person that loves advancing, because even if our 3 months include both beginner and advanced classes, you can't learn everything in one place. It doesn't work that way. Even if you go to the school at Harvard, you can't learn everything there. So if you're the kind of person that loves going for more knowledge, more information, you can keep building your portfolio. Another thing you should know is that trends change, tools change, design changes. So you have to keep evolving. So while you're evolving, you're going to be posting those things on your portfolio and applying for jobs. That's just how it works. Then we also have highlight remote collaboration skills and time zone flexibility. You have to let recruiters know that you're open-minded to work remotely, and you can also work even if their time zone is different. Do you understand? I think Nigeria is 1 hour ahead of UK. So their day is our day, their night is our night, but US is different. So when you're working with companies like Canada, US, always know that the time zone is always the same. So you have to also make international recruiters know that you're open. Yeah, and you also have the fact that you should have an outstanding CV. So as a UI UX designer, whether you're a beginner, if you have a friend that has a store, for example, you have a friend that has a store, you can tell your friend, hi Faith or hi Mary, can I design for your store? So that helps you have what to write on your CV. You understand? Because you have a design to back that. You design for Mary's store. Then we also have include your portfolio into your CV. Very important. Most times when you're applying for a job, you don't get the extra question, submit your portfolio or submit a link to your portfolio. You can only submit your CV. So you need to always ensure that your portfolio link will be at the top of your CV where your email and contact detail is. That's how the way UI UX designers do their CV is different from the way another tech do their CV. So as a UI UX designer, you should know that your portfolio should always be on your CV. Then mention tools you use like Figma, Adobe XD, and Notion is for project management and training. Then we also have Apply N. So because you see a job and the job was posted 2 months ago, it doesn't mean the job is still active. Do you understand? Because you see a job posting online and you see that they posted the job January and we are in March, right? April. It doesn't mean the job is still open. Most times they've already got to the person. So you need to always apply it. If you're a job hunter, you know that you should apply almost every day. Indeed. And as you can see, this is um, Indeed US. I'm going to give a bonus lecture. If you want to apply for a Nigerian job on Indeed, what you write is Indeed NG. Then you're going to be seeing the link. He explained HTTPS a bit for everyone here. He explained what it means. So you're going to be seeing the link here. Then you see an NG. So this means that's a Nigerian Indeed website. Then if you want to apply for a US job, just come here to Indeed US. So you're going to see that this has a different domain name. USA jobs. I'm going to show you something. If I enter Indeed US and I also enter Indeed Edge, ng.indeed.com, indeed.com/q USA jobs. These are two different websites. So when someone tells you apply for a job on Indeed and you're always applying for using Nigerian link, just know that you're not going to see US jobs, you're not going to see UK jobs. So every country has a different link. If you also want Indeed UK, you're going to just come here and write Indeed UK, you have a different link. So yeah, I'm going to please note that this weekend, today is Saturday. Most countries don't post jobs on a Saturday. So you're not going to be seeing much open roles. You're not open on the weekend. If this was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'll see more jobs. So let's say UI, UX design. And remote. Now you can see we have all the US states: Austin, New York, Chicago, Atlanta. So what we want to do remote because you're not here, you don't want to put a particular location. So I'll click on search. I'll go back to the Nigerian site and do the same thing. UI, UX, designer. So we want to leave that in Nigeria. So I told you being a UI UX designer means you're also a product designer. Because it's the first job that came out here is product designer. Remote. The pay is $10 to $40 per hour. And either a temporal part-time contract internship. You can apply it to Indeed. So this is about the company. And they said at least 2 years of UI UX design experience. Please, most newbies, when they start their tech career, when they see this, they get scared. When you see 2 years of experience or you see 3 years of experience, if you're the kind of person that is determined, you may just have 6 months experience. Do you understand? You've learned in 3 months, you've practiced outside where you learned for an additional 3 months, and you've built a solid portfolio. Do you know that you're going to be equivalent to this person? It's not just UI UX, it's all tech roles. So when you see this, don't get scared. Even if you have 0 to 1 year experience, you can apply. So far as you're confident that you put in the work, the chance you get the job will be high. So this shouldn't discourage you. Obviously, no company will put 0 to 1 year second for an intern. But if you can prove that you're qualified, even if you don't need this, definitely the company will take you. So this note doesn't disqualify you. Then this for the product designer. We also have a designer slash UI UX designer. This is $20 to $50 per hour and it's a contract position. So I'm just looking at the pay. This is, like I said, you can also specialize on just UX. This is just UX designer, user experience designer. So they don't need to do UI. You need to just go through the UX part. So let's see. $1,000 to $1,000 a year. So what you do there is that you divide it by 12, then you know the monthly salary. So this is a permanent and full-time role. That's why they're paying per year. So per year doesn't mean they'll give you the money at the end of the year. It means you're going to divide it by 12 and see that that's what they're paying per month. Don't get confused. So this is the Nigerian Indeed account. Today is Saturday, so the jobs are not much. But yeah, we have money points for a senior UI UX designer. Everybody knows money points, right? This is Nigeria. So what I wanted to show you is the difference between the Indeed NG and the Indeed US and any other country. So when you want to also apply for Canada, you have to write Indeed Canada. And I think they're holding CAC. So always know that it's not going to be the same. It's going to give you the same results. Let's look at LinkedIn. I'm using Nigeria first. So this is a company they're looking for a UX designer. This one is looking for a UI UX designer. They posted it 2 days ago. So you're not going to see most, you're not going to see a lot of jobs because today is Saturday. Saturday is one of the baddest, it's one of the baddest days to apply for jobs. Most companies are currently closed. And if they're not closed, they don't start posting a job on Saturday. They'll just wait till it's fresh. Then we also have lead UI UX designer. We have UI UX designer. So these are for Nigerian companies. Let's look at United States. Indeed works LinkedIn works different. On LinkedIn, you don't need a different thing when you change the location. So at this point, because of time, I won't be looking at everything. But this company, Candy Solutions, they're looking for just a UI designer. They posted this 17 hours ago and they have 48 applicants. So this is a hybrid role, so it's not a remote role. So you're looking for a remote role. If you were at Columbus, it's different from Nigeria, so you know that job is not for you. So this user interface designer, remote United States, their starting pay is $110 per year. 3 days ago, over 100 applicants. Then that's why I said applying international is very competitive, so you need to stand out. So if you can get your experience first from a Nigerian company, your relevant work experience, then you can now advance. Then this is a UI UX designer. 2 hours ago, one person clicked apply. So I guess this one is not competitive. I don't know why. This is a remote work. So this and this something to consider. Then we also have a lot more. 18 hours ago, 8 hours ago, 1 day ago, 1 day ago. So this to tell you how in demand it is. 1 day ago, 2 hours ago, 3 days ago. So every day you're definitely going to see 1 or 2 UI UX design jobs. You're going to see 50. So you're not going to apply for everything. For example, you see a senior role. At this point, it's going to waste your time. Do you understand? This is a senior role. Maybe they're giving someone with from 5 years and above. They'll really care if they don't have up to that. So you just want a senior role. So it's not everything you apply for. Then when you also know that you're not in that location, you don't waste your time applying. You tailor your job search. Entry to mid level, remote, and pay. That's just how you tailor your job search. So, any questions? At this point, I think I've explained how to use the link. Any questions? No, I have time. Any questions? similar with Figma. This is Figma's own interface. So if you notice something, you're going to be seeing these shapes: line, ellipse, rectangle, similar. Okay, let me expand my screen. It's cut. So you can see the same shapes. So one thing I tell you is that if you know how to use Figma, you can as well use Adobe X. But there's one thing that is very common now. Figma is more in demand than Adobe X. Most companies, when they tell you, as a UI UX designer, our company prefers using Figma for our designs, it's because Figma has more, how should I put it? Figma has more features. For example, on Figma, you can interact with developers and designers. What you need to do is share, and you can add anybody, you can invite. So you can invite people to edit your work. So I can collaborate with my fellow designers on one canvas. You can't do that with X. So if I want to design as a team, let's say you're a UI, before you are a UI designer, I want to design an app together. You can collaborate using Figma. So, and you can also work with the developers using Figma. This is their tool. So most companies prefer Figma. So, but the good thing is that so far as you can use Figma, you can use X. And this is what I wanted to show everyone. You don't need to start drawing a phone. Figma already has that for you. You can see phone, we have iPhone 17. This is what the screen looks like. That means the width of an iPhone 17 is 402, and the height of an iPhone 17 is 874. Then it's not just limited to phones. That's iPhone 16 and 17 Pro have the same size. We place them together down to 13, 14. Then we have Android. It's not limited to Android because you should know that Android phones are different from iOS devices. So you have Android Medium and Android Compact. Then we also have tablets. So iPad mini, iPad 11, iPad Pro 11. So this is the size. As you can see, it's already set an iPad. So this is the dedicated size. People already have that. Still moving forward, we have desktop. So we have MacBook Pro, MacBook 16, we have TV. So this is the size of the MacBook Pro 14. We still have the desktop view. We still have the TV. This is the size of the TV. Then it's still not limited to the watch. Apple Series 10. I think you guys can see it here. Then we still have paper. That's why I said if you can use Figma, you can do a bit of graphics. The A4 paper, A5, the letter size, and the rest. We still have social media. That's Twitter post size, Facebook post, Instagram post. Even your dribble headshot and your LinkedIn cover. This is your LinkedIn cover. Everyone knows what a LinkedIn cover is, right? The image behind your profile picture has the size here. So you can do a lot of things here on Figma. But we can't design because of time. So I think the class will be ending here. My own part. So any question? Okay.
During the course of this training, you will be taught how to use these apps, not just the UI and UX design.
Which app? Sorry.
The Figma, the Adobe X.
The Adobe X. You're going to learn how to use it. Like how to use. If you learn how to use the entire tool, yes, you're going to learn how to design. That's why you're enrolled for 3 months because you learn how to design. Yes. Like by the end of the class, you should be able to have designs that are similar to this. You should be able to do things like this. So that's how we teach. It's not a copy and paste class. It's a class that teaches you how to use Figma yourself to the extent that you can produce any kind of design you wish. Yes. All right. Thank you. Any questions?
When you get thinking of those objects, why did they why is that you're not showing it? Is it just the science you need?
The objects.
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting back there. This is just a frame. It means anything I design will be placed here. For example, I can use my text tool and write something like Skillworks. Then it's not visible enough, right? So what I'm going to do is that I can increase the font. I can change the font style. Let's work with that. So I can change the font. I've changed the font, but I guess let's work with that. I can change the font to any font that I like. I can as well change the color of the canvas. Because I'm not designing, I'm just trying to be quick. I can as well change the color of the canvas. So just imagine I want to design a life reality. I've gotten a canvas, just an empty canvas. So I want to place an image, still the same thing. I can draw a frame. Let's say I need a header. I can still draw a frame here and place the image here. Then, if it's a landing page, yes, if it's a landing page and the page shouldn't be this small, I can still drag down. So this is what causes the scrolling when you're on the website. I've answered the question. So it's just a canvas. I'm to design on this canvas. Thank you. Done.
Who said the other interest in you are interested? I don't understand. So you like what you see. Thank you very much.
most of what I have to say have already been said by other people. So person how that works. But I'm just going to introduce you to the concept of AI and artificial intelligence. I did my best to create this slide. I'm not good at creating slides. This is a very useful slide. Alright, so you've all been hearing machine learning, artificial intelligence, and for some of you, you've heard it on the internet, right? You've heard about AI. You've seen AI generated content, you've seen AI videos, you've heard rumors that AI can write emails for you, automatically respond to emails and do jobs for you. So that's what I'm going to break down and explain how it works. So AI is an acronym for artificial intelligence, right? So the question is, what is intelligence to start with? What do you think intelligence means? When you say somebody or something or some animal is intelligent, what does it mean? Yeah, I'm asking class generally. What does intelligence mean to you generally? When you hear something is intelligent.
That's ability to provide solutions
To provide solutions to problems. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. What about lower organisms that usually don't have problems? You know, like our problems are human beings, we have a lot of problems. They're like a chicken, right? Doesn't really have much problem. He has a problem, like, but he's able to solve his problem. So that I think that's a good definition for intelligence. Ability to provide solutions to problems. So if we have something that can by itself create a solution to a problem that it is facing in the present, then we can classify it as an intelligent object. Is that acceptable? Right? Something that can think for itself and provide its own problem. Unlike a baby, right? If you have a baby crying, that baby is hungry, but that baby cannot do anything about its hunger. That's not very intelligent for that baby. So the adult has to go and provide food for the baby, and then the baby grows up to become an adult and can provide their own food for themselves. That's like the levels of development of intelligence. So the question is, can a computer be intelligent? Can computers think for themselves and solve problems? The computer's problem is your problem because computers don't have a life of their own. So the things we'll be discussing here are what is artificial intelligence. We've already explained what intelligence is, ability to create solutions to problems. Now, artificially, the word artificial here means, I'll give you a story, right? I'll give you a story. There is a girl, her name is Mary. Mary lives in a room. Mary has never seen an elephant in her life. But Mary, through the internet and through reading the books, knows everything about an elephant there is to know. She can draw an elephant with her eyes closed. She can tell you all the diseases about elephants. She can tell you how to cure disease. Like she literally knows everything there is about an elephant. Then, but she has a brother. Her brother goes to school. Her brother likes being outside. He has been to the zoo. He has touched an elephant. He knows how an elephant smells. He has tried to play with the elephant. The elephant has behaved towards him, that exchange interaction. Between Mary and her brother, whom do you think knows more about an elephant? Even if her brother has not read as much as Mary has about an elephant, who do you think knows more about an elephant? The brother. Yeah, why do you say the brother knows more about the elephant? Because he moves himself into contact, right? Mary's knowledge is artificial because it's just taking already existing data. What people like her brother who has gone to kill the elephant, and the elephant has stomped somebody, so so she knows not much detail of an elephant, right? So all that's why it's artificially intelligent, not because it's less intelligent. Its intelligence is artificial because it's coming from recorded data, right? So it's not less intelligent. The machines can come up with solutions for problems, but their intelligence is artificial because we are just feeding them data constantly. Just like if you ask ChatGPT to write a job proposal for you, GPT doesn't know anything about you. It's just like a generic job proposal. But if you tell GPT about yourself, GPT will write a job proposal for you, right? Concerning the job you're looking for. But the reason GPT knows about you at that moment is the type of job you're looking for. It does not know your behavior. So you really can't ask GPT for advice concerning other things. You understand? Because it doesn't have that data. You have to give it some data and it, makes the recommendation for you. That's the idea of artificial intelligence. So, how is machine learning related or relatable? The next point we are going to meet. So, we'll keep using the Mary example as our machine, and we will use our brother John as the human being. So, we've answered the question of. Let me give you a definition I can copy. I see you guys like copy. Interesting. So artificial intelligence is the ability for a computer to think, learn, and simulate human process, such as perceiving, reasoning, and learning. It can also independently perform complex tasks, such as complex tasks that require human input. So you take a machine and you train it in such a way that it's able to perform tasks, simple or complex tasks, depending on the level of complexity of the task that a human being would naturally do. And are you done with this? So just allow you. So while you're still copying, let's talk some more. What do you use GPT for the most? Ask questions. Since you are too lazy to Google. Do you think it's better to ask GPT a question or to Google the question? Which one do you prefer? Yes.
Browsing, because there are sometimes you ask, you say, I don't know what it is, can you give me this? You will not tell me
They will not tell you about it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's good. And what do you think GPT is doing that?
Because it's not aware about, just wants more info.
Okay, so let's say, give me an example of a question you might ask GPT that GPT will require more information to answer. Doesn't have to be exact, just you can pick it in there. See, you're not very good at lying. It's hard.
No, it's not.
Alright, so let's say if I ask GPT, who would be the next president of a certain country, GPT would not like to answer that question, right? It's going to beat down the bush and not answer that question. You know why? Because there are things that I don't think a machine should be able to answer. Things like who do you think should be the president of Nigeria in the next election? Because those things you require, you require experience, right? You must have lived in the country and experienced it for yourself than just asking GPT. GPT can look at the data on the internet, which could be false, and based on that data, say, I think this candidate is better, but it's not actually living in the reality of that place to say this is what I think should be happening. So those are the applications of AI you also be looking at. Are you done with this? Alright. So let's move. Alright, how does machine learning relate to data? When you are dealing with AI, machine learning, you start from collecting data. Our data analyst instructor told us that we have to get data from somewhere. We need to get data from like cargo and the rest. But when it comes to machine learning, especially with uh, real-time response, there are several places we can get data, right? There are services that provide API data collection, where we just keep putting real-time data more and more and more and more. So we take that data and we feed the data to what I would call a super computer brain. It's called an algorithm. I don't want to bring in too much grammar. So it's called an algorithm, and the algorithm is just a process or a way people have determined parameters for the computers to think. You understand? Like, let me give an instance. If I take the brain of a Christian, right? Let's say there was a way I can harvest your brain and send message to the brain, and the brain gives me a response without your body needed. Hypothetically, say it's possible. So I take the brain of a Christian and I ask the brain certain questions, because that person has trained his brain to know that some things are good and some things are bad, as compared to the brain of a Muslim, right? The way the Christian will process the information and answer those questions is different from the way a Muslim will answer the information, because they have trained their brains differently. Do you understand? So the algorithm is just a way you map out the brain to answer questions or to, like we say, to solve the problems. That's where algorithm works. So you take data and you pass it through this algorithm thing, which is the brain, and the algorithm, based on how you have trained it, gives you an answer. It's just that simple. Now, if you're taking this course, you don't bother about how to write an algorithm. It's not your business. Don't worry about that. The algorithms already exist outside. All you do is make your data compatible with what algorithm you want to use. So that's how machine learning works. GPT does the same thing for text generation, for image generation, for video processing. It's all the same thing, right? There are already algorithms that exist. You just take what you want, send it. Like, you've seen those AI flyers people are using, right? So if I want to create a model that generates images for me, however they've designed the algorithm to create the picture, I have no control, right, of how the algorithm has been designed to paint the picture. All I will say is, I tell it to generate a picture of a cat flying. If there was no black cat in the training data, it cannot generate a picture of a black cat. Do you understand? So if they didn't train it how to generate images of black cats, it can't generate images of black cats. Do you understand? Are you lost? Alright. So that's how it works, right? So these algorithms are written. You just take your data to the algorithm and you get an output. That's the simple way it works. So that's you training a model for yourself. Now, examples of AI in real life. There are virtual assistants. There are autonomous vehicles like Tesla that drive themselves. We have chatbots on websites. When you go to a website and you, excuse me, and you are chatting with a human being, and the person is taking too much time to respond, or you want to buy something, you see this particular hair or bar or shoe on Instagram, and you send them a DM, and it takes like an hour to get back to you, and it might be urgent. A place where I experience this the most is Gigi, right? You send the message to Gigi, best believe like 12 hours, 24 hours when they get back to you because they're not always on their phone, they don't do notification on time. So these things happen. But with AI, the moment you send a message, it responds really fast. So we can deploy it in different cases. We can make it a chatbot. We could use it for virtual assistant jobs. And a lot of people today are looking for virtual assistant roles, but it's becoming more and more scarce. And that's because more businesses are deploying AI for their virtual assistant roles. In fact, my last class, the last class we did, almost all my students created virtual assistants for different purposes. Almost all the students that took the last class created a virtual assistant agent. So that's telling that it's one of the easiest things you can do, creating a virtual assistant, training it with your business data, and you have a virtual assistant. And it just doesn't take, building an assistant does not take you up to an hour. Less than 30 minutes is done. Now, the e-commerce section, if you've shopped on platforms like Amazon, the moment you click on item 1, item 2, and you click on add to cart, it automatically suggests item 4, 5, and 6, saying you might also like these things. So how does it know what you might like? How is it predicting what the user would be a little bit interested in, right? And the things it's suggesting to you, they are good. They are really good suggestions in their e-commerce business. So imagine if you have a store and your store is unintelligent to know the user, what the user is looking for, what the user might need or is not currently searching for. And it helps you sell more. Because we even do this in our everyday life. You go to the store and because you're buying something, they try to offer you something else, but I want to like this, this, check this item out. Those same services can be done with artificial intelligence. So because the user is buying specific items, we are recommending more items to that user, and you can use AI for that. Also, recommendation systems work. Now, recommendation systems can work on the website, or you could use email targeting to send the right email to the right customers. Now, simply because I am shopping on the website like I'm going to use Junior, doesn't mean I'm interested in everything Junior has to offer. Now, there's a way a company like Timo does it, and it's kind of annoying. There's a way they will keep sending you emails for products I'm not interested in. I will just unsubscribe from their newsletter, plug this in their account, and you've lost the customer because you're sending them too much emails for things they are not interested in. But with AI, you could send the right emails to the right customer, and it doesn't have to be too much manual job, right? The system knows exactly what you're doing, knows what the customer wants, and you just send the right email to the right person automatically. So we also have things like text editing. Like most of us use ChatGPT rather for what do you call it? Writing essays. There are tools like Grammarly for writing essays, editing documents, and so on. Now, recently, Grammarly dropped a update, very interesting update, but it had problems with it. So when you write something, you need an editor to look at it, right? You can't just write maybe your book and you by yourself determine if the book is okay. You need somebody to edit the book, an editor. So Grammarly dropped this feature where they train some models based on popular editors. So if I want my work to be edited by, let's say, some big editor, I don't have the money to pay that person to edit my work, I can use the person's model to edit my work to make it better. Now that was a feature Grammarly had, but I think they had a lot of legal cases they had to bring it down for some reason. But it was a good feature. So that is a case of I'm trying to right. So text editing it's one of the ways we use ChatGPT, right? For most of us. I think it's they are one of the most used cases for tools like GPT and Gemini for text editing and so on. We can also use AI for things like object recognition and face recognition, which most of you already use with your phones. Some people use their face to unlock their phones. We could use AI. You've heard that in certain countries like China, their traffic lights have AI-powered cameras, where if you're overspeeding, it just captures your name, your plate number instantly, cross-references your plate number, and reports that particular driver instantly. And they send the fine for that particular offense instantly. So you don't need things like VIO or road safety to check their documents on the road. The fact that your car is on the road, their cameras are just capture your plate number constantly and keep checking if your vehicle is overspeeding, if you've been fined before, and that's how they manage to catch criminals, people that do it and all. So you can even train a model to detect accidents, to detect impact. So if you car hits a person, right, you can train a model to do that. And for every time the model sees a situation where a car hits somebody, it can capture information about the car and use that information to search the database and find the people who have that particular type of car, makes the investigation process easier for law enforcement to find people who are involved in hit and run, right? So think about the massive solution AI is doing, solving crime. They're even using AI to fight wars currently. This US and Iran war. The US is using cloud to target their enemies, to like actually know where their opponents are, calculate precision strikes and carry out strikes like their own drones. Like they just send the drone on mission and it just knows what to do. So it's practically used in every case, in healthcare, in warfare currently, in academic research, in e-commerce. You can think about any use case. And you can see that as long as human beings are involved, we can use artificial intelligence to make that particular process easier and seamless. So now we look at maybe some steps AI has, milestones. Now this is the first humanoid, how would I describe it? Humanoid AI team. Never should call it a robot that existed. Sophia. And you can call her Sophia the first, not the dog. Right? This is Sophia, this is the real Sophia the first. So this was what it was. They just had lips moving, the language model, inside something that looks like the brain, to make it feel human. But we know that Tesla have advanced beyond this, right? There are companies in China like Boston Dynamics in US, and there's other Chinese companies that are producing better humanoid robots today. Robots that can drive, that can clean, that can do policing. They are humanoid robots. And the difference between a bot and a robot is that a bot does not have physical feature. A bot is just a software, right? So we can consider like in modern day term, you can't use the word bot, right? Because hackers have destroyed the word bot. You can't use it. We call them agents. So because they are doing useful stuff for us, they are now agents. They're not calling them bots. But a robot is like an agent with human features. Because you have robot dogs and robot people and robot cars doing a lot of things.
What about
Siri. Siri is an agent. Yes, Siri is an agent. You can ask Siri, Alexa, which other one do we know? Siri and Alexa, they are the most popular. Microsoft had one. I don't know what happened to it. I think it was iPhone, but I didn't really pick up in its time. I think Android was about to release something like that. Samsung has something like that, but you know how it goes. Some things don't catch up immediately you drop them. So I'm going to share an image with you before we continue. And this image shows us the growth path for artificial intelligence. Now, there are levels to AI. This is not what types of AI. This is like the levels to AI. So AI starts with perception AI, which for most of us, perception AI is the type of AI where if I give it a data, it gives me a prediction. Very simple. There is nothing complex about it. Let's say I want to predict if it's going to rain. I need some data about the weather, like the wind speed, humidity, temperature, all those data. I need to predict if it's going to rain. That's perception AI. Very simple, nothing complex about it. Then it's moved up to generative AI, which is what GPT does. GPT is a generative AI model because it generates text, right? It can generate real text. So tools like GPT, Nano Banana, um, Gemini, OpenAI just stopped their video model last week. They just announced they're no longer going to use Sora because of the cost of running uh, that particular model. It's too expensive. But more any type of AI that can generate images, videos, text, audio, like Alexa. Alexa generates audio, right? Those are generative AI. So we go to the point of generative AI, then it moves to agentic AI, which is sort of where we are right now. Agentic AI came out last year, and what agentic AI is all about is we have this model, we have GPT, we have Nano Banana, but it is still very manual because I have to copy my email, open GPT, paste my email inside GPT, click send, wait for 3 seconds, read the email, tell GPT to write a response to the email, and it will take me like 4 or 5 attempts before I get the perfect email. Then I'll copy the email, I'll open my Gmail app, go to compose, paste the email, put the header, put the recipient, and then I'll send. That's about 10 processes just to send one email. And you want to move fast, you want to send, you want to reply emails as soon as they come. So that's the agentic AI communication, whereby we can connect applications. These are not AI models anymore. Applications like your Gmail, your WhatsApp, your Telegram, Twitter, we are connecting them with connecting the models with applications. That's what makes it agentic. So the idea of agentic AI, it's really sweet, but there's no big deal about it. There's absolutely no big deal about it. It's like saying you you have somebody that's good at writing, but you've not given the person a job, right? Or an internship or an opportunity to write. So you just take that person and put the person in a company to be writing for that company. So agentic AI is just taking GPT and connecting GPT or Gemini or Cloud to your email so that the moment you get an email, GPT writes the response for that email and sends. GPT is not sending the email, mind you. It is the agent. So the agentic AI is when we connect our AI models with other applications. So let's say I want to create a YouTube channel that generates videos and posts those videos online for me. But I'm too busy to be generating the videos myself and editing myself and posting on YouTube for myself. I'm too busy for that. I can create an agent using combining different models. So I can use Nano Banana to generate the video. I can use 11 Labs, the model they generate the voice, to generate the voice for the video. I can use GPT to generate the story for the video. And when I connect all these models together and connect it to YouTube, this agent by itself, every morning, I can set the timer to be running every 24 hours. So by 8 a.m., the model will write the script, send the script to the next model, I will get the video, and I'm not even doing anything, right? Zero human interaction. That's the job of an AI agent. They do the job for you, and that's where we are currently. So from perception AI to generative AI to agentic AI, and for agentic AI, I think that we are still catching up with agentic AI. There are so many businesses that have not yet started using agentic AI. And I will draw a similarity between agentic AI and when computers were first introduced, right? When people started learning Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and the rest, not everybody could use it. Some people had to go and hire somebody, even today. Companies hire people to operate their Microsoft Office suite for them. Some people still outsource their operation because maybe they don't use it every time. So when they want to type, they send the documents for typing. We know people that do that. When they want to print something, they send it for printing and so on, so on and so forth. So that's what agentic AI is. We just connect our models to real world applications and it just keeps doing its job. So the job the agent does could be simple tasks, it could be complex tasks. So that's just how it goes. Physical AI is where we're talking about self-driving cars, right? We're looking at humanoid robots that can actually cook for you and sweep your house and do all the things we really don't want to do. And that will be a future that will be very interesting to be alive to see. When we see AI cooking for us, very, very interesting. So we can stop the debate of who's going to be cooking when you marry. I cannot cook. Just hire an AI agent, right? We do not be cooking and cleaning. And we can all finally live in peace. So most companies are still researching physical AI. It's not, I think the most advanced physical AI I've seen is the Disney robot. You know that's Olaf from Frozen, right? Nobody has seen Frozen. We've all seen Frozen now. Yeah, we've all seen Frozen. Disney and NVIDIA collaborated to bring that robot to life. So there is a real Olaf in the real world that behaves and talk like that particular one. Yes, Disney is investing heavily. You know they have Disneyland, right? So it's a wise investment for them. If you can go there and instead of seeing people, now think about it, those mascots that wear costumes and play with people in Disneyland. If Disney successfully create robots that can interact with people exactly the way you expect the interaction from the movies you've watched that brought to Disneyland. You think those people wearing costumes and painting their faces and see how jobs? Zero. Because they can mass produce those things, they have to pay them, just charge them. For the cost of electricity, it's 10 times cheaper than paying somebody occupational hazard risk and so on and so forth. So, what we teach in skill work is we teach you perception AI for start. We teach you how to make simple predictions, right? You take small data, create an algorithm, make a prediction, very simple stuff. And when you're done with that, we now introduce you, don't know about the native AI, because the models you use for the native AI are already inside the agent AI. So where I want to, it's still the same models that we use. So after we do this, we skip all the way up to agentic AI, where you learn how to build your own agent to do whatever you want it to do. I don't know how strong the internet is right now, but I'd have loved to show you something. So the primary tool we use for agentic AI here is Edit. There are so many tools. There is make.com, there is Zapier, and there are a ton of them. But I use Edit, or we use because it's the best. So I'll see if the network is strong enough to do a small demonstration for you. Right? Let's get it. So I have one published agent here, and what this agent does is I can, if I want to search for a particular, let's have to do lead generation, right? Talk about digital marketing earlier this morning. And we say one of the jobs of digital marketing to do what? Gather leads, right? So if I want to automate the process of finding companies online, researching the company, writing the proposal, and sending an email to the company without doing anything, this particular workflow does it. As simple as it looks, it does everything. So it has a simple interface where we can pass the data we want. Let me pull up the interface. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can find that. So just give me a minute. I had it up, but we have to take all this down because of the connection problems. So for me to find is the interface, right? I'll try as much as I can to share them side by side so we see how they work. So this is the back end, the brain. Think of this as the brain. And when we come to executions, so we monitor it in real time. So there's no current execution. Now I try to do something. So let's say I'm looking at LinkedIn. So I'm looking at LinkedIn and I'm looking for, say, somebody who calls himself a founder on LinkedIn. And let's say he's the owner of his business, as he claims to be, don't know. And the industry, give me an industry, decide this one so we can see how it works. Any industry. E-commerce. E-commerce is here. Let's use something fresh. Let's use banking. Let's see banking. That's the industry. Now we can pick the country we want to look for. So I'll look for somebody in the United States. City. I'll try California. That's the state rather. For the city, I can try Oakland. Very nice city. Now, extra keywords. This person is working on something like a payments app and is in California. His company size, let's say he has 3 employees. Again, this is not matter exactly. And the revenue of, say, 1 million. Again, not very important. But now I'm just going to send this. It says successful. So we jump back to the brain and let's watch the brain think. Let's see. Now it's now thinking, it's running. And see, it's there just now. And it's doing the thinking. This is searching Google, gathering the data, doing everything that I would have been doing manually. It's doing that by itself. So we'll see how long it's going to take. At this moment, we went on for 3 minutes. That's not so long. Let's see how long it's going to take.
Is there a way you can be setting as to how much time you're going to spend?
You can do that. You can do that, but in this case, I want to take its time and filter. It's doing a lot of filtering processes. So I don't want to get bad leads. So it can filter, try again. I can set the time limit, but let's just let it run. It could run for as long as 2 or 3 minutes. When it's done, we will get the results in a Google Sheet. So I'll show you that Google Sheet before the emails, the LinkedIn leads that's dropping. Hopefully I'll be faster than agents. Right. So here is the Google Sheet where it's dumping everything. So let's look at the last row so far. The last row is current row is row 46, right? 46. So once it's done, you should get more rows after 46. Let's see. It's been only for 2 minutes. Again, the internet speed could also be a factor for why it's slow. That's why I'm not setting a timer limit.
And the leads,
No, 100% limit. So for the ones we've seen, right? So then we can look at this. So here, if I should hover on any of these things, you will see that these are actually real links to actual LinkedIn profiles. actually eating breakfast. But let's focus on this particular one. What is wrong? What is wrong? Let's just keep talking about it. And let's use this opportunity to review some of the things that we're not able to copy because of the power outage. Right. Finish this. Right. Alright. So with this, there are two ways you can work with AI agents. There is zero human interaction, and there's something called human in the loop, which is when, even though the AI works faster and probably works better, we still want a human being to look at what the AI is saying it wants to do before we give it the opportunity to carry the last action. So that the AI will not fire somebody they were not able to fire because of some parameter. Because we really don't know how these models think. Right? If you fail to define the context properly, the model will define the context by itself and then just go and take action. If you've seen this movie, Avengers, Age of Ultron, have you seen that movie? Anybody? You've seen it? Right. So Tony Stark made a AI, and the AI's job was to solve all humanity's problems. So it's going to solve hunger, poverty, crime, and so on. For a while, it was working. It was trying to solve the problems actually. And then it determined that as long as they are human beings, there will be problem. So therefore, the only way to solve the problem is to remove all the human beings, and there will be no more problem. Now, the problem was context. Say solve world problem, not solve humanity's problem. Without humanity, will there be the earth? Yes. So humanity can go and the earth will continue. So it's just a matter of little context, right? You just fail to specify one line, and that's how humanity was going to wipe out. Just like that. So it's necessary, which is why most people will argue that you don't give AI full control over any system. I've seen a case where the AI's job, the agent's job was to fix the code, right? Fix the error in the code. And they give him full access to their production database. And the AI determined that the code is bad code. And that's why the error is not because the error is the code. It's made the error in the code as the same thing by its own definition. And it's why the entire database. So yeah, the error was the code. In fact, if you don't define these things properly when it comes to agentic AI, it's a problem. So you always need a human being in the loop to see what it's doing. Currently, Apple's App Store is removing vibe-coded applications. So people that just tell apps like Lovable, give me an app and buy enough tokens and go and sleep and wake up tomorrow morning, the app is live. Apple is removing them because those apps they are unsafe. They don't meet the purpose of an application. You can't just say, write me an app that sells Bitcoin and you go and sleep. And tomorrow morning, you push the app to the Apple Store. People are paying subscription for, and sometimes it can hallucinate. So people that use GPT a lot will tell you that GPT can hallucinate. GPT can give you information that does not exist just to suit you, just to make you feel happy. If you ask GPT, depending on your interest in football, and you ask GPT who is the best player in the world, it can tell you Ronaldo, and it will tell you Messi, just because it wants to suit you. So those issues are the reason why we don't like. I won't advise you to give any AI, no matter how much you trust your agent. So it has finished running. It ran for 3 minutes and 54 seconds. It generated 11 new leads. So at the end, it gave me just 10. So the last number was 46, I guess. If I go back to the Google Sheet, I should see more rows added. So I'm seeing from 46, 47, And we can see that since we looked at LinkedIn, most of our leads are coming from LinkedIn. So we see this guy named Emazan, and this is his LinkedIn profile. He is the founder, CEO. This is a summary of the person. This is how many followers he has. And you can see this is a pitch for this particular person. But I don't want this agent to send the emails. Write the pitch, research the person, and let me see what you are writing. So if I look at this pitch that it's writing and I don't like the pitch, I can manually rewrite it. If it's good, I can send it. The last class, a lot of students did automatic email sending. You just get an email, send it automatically. So you can take that same workflow and add it to the end of this, and here you're just sending all the emails. But again, just read what you say before you send it out. Very easy to build. Which industry are we looking at by the way? We're looking at what industry?
Banking.
Banking. Let's see if those people are actually in the banking industry. Yeah, is that. So let's see. Let's see if I can search somebody's name. Let me copy this LinkedIn profile. Copy, paste here. Let's see what we find about this particular person. He is the founder and CEO at Yield Club. Okay, sounds like finance. This is Yield Club. Let's go to Yield Club's website. How do we find the website? Let's look at the more. Okay, this is the Yield Club. This is Yield Club's page. So I think from their page you should find their website. Stable coin, not that. Let me just search it. Yield Club. Yes, okay, this is it. Gain up to 12% APY in your savings. You see? Works perfect. Yes, that BTC on autopilot. So we can just search people around the world without having to manually go to Google and start doing research on every single person. Just in 3 minutes, you get 11 minutes. But after that 3 minutes, you get 11 more leads. And we can set the timer so that it can research and send. Don't send this. Don't tell your agent to send you a message. Send the message yourself so that you know what you're doing. And so you can go ahead and vet every lead you get. And this is a lead magnet tool. So we set employees to be 3, right? He has 2 to 10 employees. Very accurate data expected. Very accurate data. Alright, so that's just one. And as much as you can imagine, you can build. That's the beauty of event AI. As much as you can imagine, you can build. So to wrap it up, I'll wrap it up with my slide. I'll talk about examples of AI, and we looked at the first model. These are more use cases of AI. We've talked about all of this previously. More use cases of AI and disadvantages of AI. Now, this is where we say for every good thing, there's a bad side. These are the downside of AI. There is lack of transparency. So the lack of transparency comes in the bit like, if my company uses AI and we have an agreement, let's say I'm a healthcare provider, that your data is not going to be shared with another person, right? But we are using AI. We are live on it. I don't know if I should say this on YouTube. Live. But I'll just say it. Because we're using GPT model for text generation, are we being honest with our clients? Have we promised that your data is not between the third party? No. So anytime the person sends a message, that data goes to GPT. GPT may or may not use that data for more training. And then so this Is there 100% transparency with our clients at this point? No. So data is no longer as private as we want our data to be. So companies that use AI, we can't really trust how they are protecting your data. It's just the truth about it. Bias and discrimination. So there was this time in the early days of GPT, if I told GPT to tell a joke about Jesus Christ, tell me a joke about Jesus Christ, that's problem. But if I tell GPT to tell a joke about Muhammad, you say I cannot tell a joke about a religious figure. That is very biased. Do you understand? So it depends that there are a lot of things that go on. Like the same problem of the training, how it was trained. So if you train it with more examples of one particular category, it will be biased towards one particular category. Now, if I'm training a Nigerian language model in Nigeria, and some of our users are Chinese, right? And let's say Nigeria and China have a war. I pray not. I hope not. The model would be a little bit discriminative towards China, right? So if someone is looking for a product, if a Chinese company has it, would it recommend a Chinese company? No, to recommend more of the Nigerian company. Just like your Google search, I bet you you've never searched anything on Google and it showed you a Chinese website. First page, Chinese website. Never. Never. It doesn't mean that there are no Chinese researchers, no Chinese bloggers, nothing. You meant to start something on Google, show you America, Europe, Canada. You can even see Mexican content before it's Chinese. That's how bad it is. So AI models have a lot of discrimination and it's based on, here's the thing, it's still human beings training it. So it would respond based on how the human beings train it. So in Nigeria, there are things we consider as taboo, not necessarily illegal, just think of it as certain taboos. But if I should ask AI about those things, because it was trained by an American who sees those things as okay, what will tell the person? Perfectly fine. There's no reason why anybody should question you for behaving like that. So a lot of things go on when you're using language model that we don't know. So if we talk about security risks, which is why Apple App Store, they are taking down applications because those applications were not properly vetted. In our Women's Day event, we saw that the application we used, we had them cybersecurity team come and look at the applications and point out vulnerabilities. Now, that's because Skillworks can afford that, right? What about a vibe product that just has $2,000 and wants to build an app that will be making him certain amount of money every month? It just takes it 2K, buys enough tokens, build the app. It doesn't hire a cybersecurity expert, nothing like that. It's the app of wisdom. Everybody's data is at risk. Hackers can go there and steal information at ease. And vibe coding and increasing data leakage, they are the curve is very, very synonymous. So the more people are vibe coding applications without knowing what they are doing, it makes it easier for thieves that know what they are doing to steal data. So there's a lot of security in this. Concentration of power. This is a major problem. Now, it may not concern you, but for data centers, power is a lot. Even training models, you need a computer that has like very expensive power factor to train good models. And when we use AI too much, it can make us dependent on AI. And there's a problem about this here that is not currently here. Just is a problem. But there is a problem rising now with people that use AI a lot. That you use AI, but you don't know what you're doing. Have you ever felt like that before? You're writing an essay, GPT is giving you everything, but you don't know what is going on in your documents. Have you ever you've been there? And that's a growing problem in the workforce today. People are working, but nobody knows what is happening. Somebody writes code debug, to take the code, the cloud debug code back to terminal, and you don't even know what is going on. I've worked for a company online where the CEO uses GPT to generate tasks for the staffs. Like when you get the brief of the job you're about to do, you can see that this is GPT. Now the staffs will take the job back to their own GPT to, to get the task done with GPT, and then when it comes back, everybody is just confused at the end of the day. Nobody reads the full document. Just let GPT summarize this task. Okay, how do I do step one? And GPT is just telling you what to do. Your boss is going to tell the staff what to do. The staff are going to GPT to figure out what to do. So it's like, what is going on here, right? It's a chaotic workplace depending on AI. So that's why I say people will lose jobs, but there are jobs that you can't afford to let go of. You need people to actually vet what machines are doing. Sometime last week I saw a new tool Google brought. I sent it to Serena. Google just released a new UI UX tool that you prompt it and it just gives you very beautiful user interface. And I used the tool for a job, right? I tried it, I used it. When I looked at the interface, it was fine, but it did not carry, how do I put it? I want to say it did not carry spirit. It was very, very robotic. It did not. What?
It wasn't weird.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't real. There was no thought to it. It felt like I've seen this same website 1,000 times. There was nothing unique about it. It felt like it did not understand the pain point of the end user. You understand? It's just an interface that I'm familiar with this layout. I'm okay with using it, but I cannot be attached to this application in the long run because there are a bigger more application that look like this application. Just the same way Jumia has its own customized look. Jumia does what Amazon does, but Jumia feels different for some reason. When I'm on Amazon, I have a feeling I get when I'm on Amazon. I have a certain feeling I get when I'm on Jumia, and when I'm on different websites. So if every website starts feeling the same, how do you then get loyal customers? You get the idea. So that's what I feel like it's right. So even if it's going to speed up the process, I don't think it's something that should totally replace, at least not yet. Maybe in the future, or currently not yet. And then, how do we use AI? Responsibly. Put people first. I've been saying these things. Consider data and privacy goals. Ensure transparency. And minimize unsustainable bias. Now, if someone is going to use your application, let them know that the base language model is GPT, is cloud, and so on, right? Don't keep people out of the picture. You can't do that to me. It's not fair. Somebody can sue you later on for it. There's a lady that Google and Meta is being forced to pay about $20 million currently for the news this morning. She sued them that they made her addicted to social media and she won the case. They're going to pay her that money. Yeah. They're going to pay her that money. And these are more cases of responsible use of AI. So, if you find this conversation for artificial intelligence interesting and you want to learn more, you want to build your own agents, and one more thing I didn't mention is that tools like this, see a tool like this. This is just a tool I use for myself. I'm not sharing it. Nobody has access to it, just me. Even if you go and copy this link and use it, data is coming to my Google Sheet because it's just me. Now, there is something called SaaS, software as a service. An example of that would be, let me look up a quick example of SaaS app. Let me look up a very quick example. Okay, let's look at I saw an application here a couple of days ago where if you don't want to read anything you see on the internet, you copy the link of the article, you paste it inside the application, it will turn the article to a podcast instantly. So if you're the type of person that like, and this was turning to a podcast because most people are looking at podcasts for more information. So you can convert applications into podcasts by just copying. This is a very funny application. It's trending everywhere. So you see all of these applications here, they are all similar to what I showed you. But the difference is people have to pay them to use what they've built. Do you understand? So SaaS is software as a service. That's SaaS, SaaS, software as a service. So somebody would have to pay for using this application. So if you find something interesting here and you want to try out the app, Facebook reviews, loyalty, and referrals for small and medium businesses. Now I'm sure that if I go to this website, at some point you will see a payment wall where I'll need to pay somebody. So let's put the price in. Yes. Somebody built this agent, and it makes sense. I don't know how it's going to work, but from what we read, it just makes so much sense. And somebody is going to be paying this guy or group of people $49 a month, $82 a month, 166 for the pro version, and they get all of this, whatever all of this mean, you can read them later. So you build these two, you can connect a payment gateway, user management, and custom database for the user. And people will pay you to use what you built. That's one of the things we also teach here, right? So not just teaching you how to build for yourself, you how to build for commercialization. So it's just an interface. This is just an interface, just cool. And if you click on start 14 days trial, see, I don't want to create an account, I'm not using the app yet. Every 14 days, somebody's debited, somebody's making money, somebody's paying somebody, and somebody is able to survive. So these are one of the things we teach too, right? Not just teaching you in theory, you're able to build a full SaaS application like what you see, and launch your application on the web, the same way you are seeing these people's applications being launched, just like that. So if you find it interesting, if you like what you've seen, what you've heard, and what you have learned today, just feel free to register for this course. It's a very interesting course. The most interesting course that ever existed is artificial intelligence. So I'll allow you to ask me your questions now. I'm done. So those questions you have to ask me. Now I'm here to answer your questions. No questions. That is nice. Hopefully there are no questions. So without any questions, that is the end of this presentation. I hope I will see you all soon.
Thank you so much, everybody. We have come to the end of today's tech vlog, and I believe you have you got money for your time, right? You got money for your time. You got money for your time, right? Yes, yes. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. So, um, Do you have any question as regarding? I believe you guys have from the five courses that have been discussed so far. I'm sure you have made your choice as to what to do. I want to believe you have done that, right? Yes. What choice have you made? Digital marketing. What about cybersecurity? What about you? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What about you? You are a US design. Wow. All right. Interesting. Interesting, right? So, do you have any questions regarding the onboarding process, guys? Because I believe you want to get started with this course now. I want to believe you know that, right? That you haven't seen all the possibilities that is embedded in some of these courses. You believe that this is the time for you to actually learn these things. Monetize them as well as build a career with your skill. Do you have any questions regarding that? Because I want to walk you through the onboarding process so that as to know what to do to get started. Do you have any question? All right. So each of these courses is a fully fledged program, right? I want to believe that. I think somebody asked, one of the faculty asked if you are new to tech, if you have had previous knowledge of some of the subjects, and I believe that most of us here are newbies, right? You are just about to get started with a tech journey, right? And Skillworks is here to actually help you to get started, right? We are here to help you to hold you by the hands, right? And walk you through the journey of becoming a fully fledged expert in your chosen tech field, right? So um, we are starting our onboarding. We are currently doing our onboarding process, right? And as such, we are going to be starting course for March, right? We are starting our course on the 30th of March. Which is 2 days from now. We are starting our course on the 30th of March, right? 2 days from now. And this is because we have been onboarding for a while now. We have been onboarding for a while now, and then um, you happen to be you were just informed as to when we are going to be starting. Some of you have seen it on our page, right? Has anybody seen our code dates on our page? How, how did you come here? Huh? You saw you saw the plan visit. Where were you? Who sent the link? Okay. Okay, wow, interesting, interesting. But I know how you came there. Where were you? How did you find us? Oh, really? Evangelist. All right. So we are starting our course on the 30th, right? And you said, what was I doing again? Digital marketing. Digital marketing. Digital marketing. You are your design. You are. Well, then, okay. So for the sake of time, let me just see about time. This is 350. This is 250. This is 300. Right. So this is the cost for our program. Our cybersecurity is 200. I see it. Our cybersecurity is 350,000. Our digital marketing is 200K. Our UI UX design is 250, and then our AI machine learning program is 300K, right? Just like um, my colleague have rightly said, right? Most of our students, right, they usually make back their money, their enrollment money, in the first 2 months or so. Some of those people that were brief, you heard the last faculty that spoke about AI machine learning, talked about how that some of our previous students, like the people that just finished their course, they were doing projects, they were building products and all that using chatbots and some others. They built a lot of interesting projects they did, right? Those products that they build, they can actually sell it. They can actually sell them to business owners, right? Those products are called SaaS, software as a service. So we teach people not just to be equipped as regarding whatever they want to learn, but then how to teach them also to be able to apply the things they've learned in a real business environment and be rewarded because they know how to do the things that they have made up their mind to do, right? So because you are here for Techplug, right? We are giving every participant a 50% discount. So we enrolled in this course, right? So if this was 350, this is now 175. This is 200, this is now 100K. This is 250, this is now 125. This is 300. This is now 1. This is our subsidized. This course, for instance, this AI machine learning, if you check, if you just do a bit to see how much they can use, this course is roughly around 750, right? But we're giving it to you for just 150,000 because you are part of, you indicated interest in the course, and then you put in the time to be here, and you stayed up to the time. So this is a discount we're giving you. Okay, so this courses, right? They are for 3 months, and you build as you learn. You say you are interested in UI design, right? You build as you learn, right? As I'm learning, you are building, and if you are very, very, very entrepreneurial, as the case may be, right? You can start making business owners. As I'm learning, you are building for them, and you are earning from what you are learning, even though you are not yet done.
But does it come back to that?
Yes, all of these classes are from basic, right, to advanced. You don't need to have any knowledge before as to what the courses entail. So long as you are willing to learn, you can learn everything you want to learn within the time frame allotted for the course. Okay, so there are three. Each course, right, is 3 times. So the timetable will show that when we show up 3 times, right? Each of these classes is 3 hours. 3 hours. So in 1 week, you are spending 9 hours. 9 hours in learning. Yes, it's a good. And certification is very, very, very solid, right? You can use it to work anywhere at all. Yeah, yeah, so, does anybody have any other question? Solomon, what be another? Does anybody have any question as regarding the? And who would like to take this offer now? You want to take this offer, the 50% offer we're giving it to them. You like to take it, right? Right. What about you? You like to take the offer? You like to take the offer? Right. What about you? All right. Thank you so much. You have your detail. We're going to be giving you certificates for participating, right? But then I believe you might want to tell us briefly about some of the things you learned with our guys here. But then I'll give you a certificate now, just a few minutes, right? Thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming for Tech